For the first time, airlines could be required to pay you money if they are the reason your plane doesn't take off or at all. You may recall during Christmas, Southwest Airlines canceled more than 10,000 flights across the country. The airline was only required to reimburse people for the cost of the ticket, typically a voucher. WRO's Matt Tallham joining us live from RDU International with how these new rules will make the airlines pay up. Matt, travel has been waiting for this for a long time.
Yeah, Gerald, that's for sure. Today, you don't have to worry about it too much. There's only one flight canceled and a couple of short delays here right now. But at times over the last 2 years, 60% of all flight cancellations have been caused by the airlines, things they could control like staffing issues. So if these new rules get approved, it would make those airlines pay up for your frustrations. A wait at the airline customer service counter is how Melissa Ramirez is starting her first vacation since the pandemic.
We're trying to get any problems resolved now before we go.
The airline canceled her flight and put her on another one with a long layover between RDU and her Caribbean destination,
Which causes us to need to board our pets for an extra day, lose a day of work, and get a hotel. We don't want to have to pay those extra costs because of this 24-hour plus layover.
The airlines could have to cover costs of cancellations they cause under new rules proposed by the Biden administration. In front of a Holding Airlines Accountable banner, the president announced new regulations for airlines to pay up.
You deserve to be fully compensated. Your time matters. The impact on your life matters.
The proposed rules would require airlines cover expenses for meals, hotel rooms, and transportation to and from the airport. On top of that, airlines would also be required to compensate passengers with cash, travel vouchers, or frequent flyer miles.
It makes the airlines accountable for their failures, and I think that's the piece that has been missing. It's the undercurrent behind 2+ years of meltdowns that we've seen across the United States.
Kyle Potter is executive editor of Thrifty Traveler. He expects the airlines to push back against these regulations.
There are a lot of questions about how this would actually work. Who decides when an airline is at fault and not at fault? What is the amount of the payout?
For these passengers at RDU, the proposed rules would offer some protections from the unexpected costs of flying.
If it's something that they caused, then they should be held responsible.
It might possibly make them look at their business side of things and make sure that things work well for the passengers, because we do kind of keep the airlines going.
That's for sure. Now, those federal rulemaking processes can take a long time, but the Biden administration wants these rules to be finalized by the end of the year. And, you know, Gerald, this is something that they've been doing in Europe. For airlines that are based out of Europe, if you have a flight that's been canceled or delayed for 3 hours or more, you can get compensated up to 600 euros or roughly 660 American dollars.
You know, all people want is to get to where they're going safely and on time. That's not too much to ask. Thank you, Matt.